Donald Trump just officially cast his ballot in Palm Beach, Florida, where he was asked straight up, do you plan on declaring victory tonight? His answer was incredibly chilling, and then he's asked if he will tell his supporters to stay away from violence. His answer again is not very satisfying. Meanwhile, Melania stands there completely silently with sunglasses that are way too large indoors, probably voting for Kamala. She did say she was pro-choice, but with 12 hours to go until the election, we have no time to waste. People always comment, I've been watching you for a while now, but I didn't realize I was not subscribed. I am now, and I'm voting blue. Make sure you do both of those things below, and let's jump in with this clip of Donald Trump being asked if there was anything he would have done differently with his campaign. And just notice how silent Melania is.
It's been very good.
Looking back, is there anything you would do differently about your campaign? Anything you regret about how you ran this campaign?
Look, regrets, you always have regrets. I can't think of any, to be honest, to use her expression. I can't think of any. I ran a great campaign. I think it was maybe the best of the three. We did great in the first one. We did much better in the second one, but something happened. And this was the best, I would say this was the best campaign we ran.
This was the best campaign of the three. The repeated dancing sessions on stage, the swaying, the verbal misspeaks. Time and time again, Donald Trump had to duck out of a debate with Kamala Harris, and he's going to say this was the best one yet. I also want to point out how Donald Trump is voting in safety with Secret Service and with the media around him, which is fine. Of course, the ex-president should vote in safety, but it just comes in stark contrast to the way that normal citizens have to vote, because we do have articles that read, on Telegram, a violent preview of what may unfold on election day and after. Right-wing groups are currently coordinating to try to harass people voting, and we'll get to that later. I really want to show you guys this clip of Donald Trump being asked, do you see a world where you declare victory tonight, or where you don't declare victory tonight? And listen closely to his answer, because he is laying the groundwork for what is to come.
Went paper ballots, and at 10 o'clock in the evening, they had 37 million votes counted and done. They had a winner, they had a loser. And in this country, I'm just hearing that in certain states, it's going to be a long time, and it won't even be close. It won't even be that close. They say, I'm going to win the state, but it's going to take a long time to certify it.
Could you see a world where you don't declare victory tonight?
Yeah, I'm hearing the same things that you're hearing. I'm hearing states where I'm up by a lot, but they won't have a final number for a long time.
What are your plans for tonight in terms of watching the results and so forth?
So we're going to have a very special group of people, many of whom you know, and they'll be at Mar-a-Lago. In addition, we'll have 4,000 or 5,000 people at the convention center. On the assumption I win, I don't know if something else happens. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of declaring victory, but if in normal times I would go over to the convention center, let's say at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something, but I just don't know. It looks like we have a very substantial lead. It looks like we have many more Republicans voting today than Democrats, so if you have a lead and we have a bigger vote, that means you're doing very well, but they have to call a winner. They should, and they should call a winner, yes.
That was the biggest word salad I've ever heard, and the thing is, it shouldn't be that hard. When you're asked as a presidential candidate in a democracy, do you see a world where you don't declare victory tonight? You just say, there are many realities where I don't declare victory. It could take a few days. We just have to vote and let every ballot be cast. Instead, Donald Trump did whatever this is.
I don't know what's going to happen in terms of declaring victory, but
you don't know what's going to happen in terms of declaring victory. You could just say, I don't know the timeline, but you declare victory only if you win. Donald Trump did not do that last time around, and I want you to notice how visibly swollen his eyes are. His eyes just seem swollen, in my opinion. Let me zoom in a little bit on him.
Even be that close. They say, I'm going to win the state, but it's going to take a long time to...
This dude is definitely 100% beat. He has been running on the campaign trail, doing 2 or 3 events every single day for a while, even canceling events near the end. Here's Donald Trump being asked, will you tell your supporters there should be no violence?
Will you tell your supporters that there should be no violence and that they should accept...
I don't have to tell them that. I don't have to tell them that there'll be no violence. Of course there'll be no violence. My supporters are not violent people. I don't have to tell them that. And I certainly don't want any violence, but I certainly don't have to tell. These are great people. These are people that believe in no violence. Unlike your question, you believe in violence.
He just deflected so hard there, the same old unhinged Trump. And he says his supporters aren't violent. We can just put aside January 6th. What about this article from yesterday? Florida Trump supporter arrested after allegedly punching woman at Harris rally. Or why don't we go back to 5 days ago? Machete-wielding teen arrested after a group is accused of intimidating Democratic supporters at Florida polling station. Now, the thing is, I don't think Republicans or Trump supporters even are inherently more violent on the inside. I think they are stirred up easily by the man that they trust, unfortunately, Donald Trump, and therefore Trump leads them to being more violent. I'm not saying that Trump supporters are violent animals or whatever. I'm genuinely just saying that Donald Trump riles up his fan base in a very unique way. This is further proof. I have more clips of Trump voting, but I really quickly want to skim this article. On Telegram, we have a violent preview of what may unfold on Election Day and after. Right-wing groups are using Telegram to organize real-world actions and urging followers to watch the polls and stand up for their rights, meaning cause chaos, like you see in this picture right here. Groups backing former President Donald Trump recently sent messages to organize poll watchers to be ready to dispute votes in Democratic areas. Some posted images of armed men standing up for their rights to recruit for their cause. Others spread straight-up conspiracy theories that anything less than a Trump victory on Tuesday would be a miscarriage of justice, and that's basically what Donald Trump implies himself every time he answers this question. He was saying, it won't be close. It won't even be close. Do you see a world where you don't declare victory tonight? He's like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, it won't even be close. This dude is so anti-democratic to the core, and when Donald Trump is asked, will you tell your supporters that there will be no violence? Sorry. Patriot Take says, Trump is planning on pardoning the very violent supporters who attacked our Capitol on January 6th, which, unfortunately, there's this weird paradox where January 6th was one of the wildest things to happen to our democracy in a while, but voters don't really care about that. The average voter doesn't even know what that date means. Here's Donald Trump being asked about Roe v. Wade.
Supporting Florida 6 weeks.
We did a great job in that we brought it back to the states, as you know. I believe in exceptions, as Ronald Reagan did. And we did a great job. We did something that they've wanted to do for 52 years.
They wanted to do that? Who is they, number one? And number two, just take a look at this clip of Donald Trump talking about RFK Jr., then I'm going to wrap back to something he said earlier.
Last week, Howard Lutnick said that RFK Jr. would not be engaging with the secretary. Does he speak for you?
Well, he knows exactly what, but that's only based on what RFK told. I don't think RFK wanted that. You're talking about Health and Human Services. Let me tell you, he's a great guy, RFK, and he's going to do pretty much what he wants as far as I'm concerned. He wants health for women, for men, for children.
Okay, so that is Donald Trump saying that RFK Jr., the person who latches on to conspiracy theories quicker than mosquitoes latch onto me on a warm summer day. I just came up with that analogy on the spot. I don't know. But Donald Trump is saying that RFK Jr. will have unilateral control over the HHS, over the health of our country, and the health of, quote, women, which is honestly super weird and creepy. But I think the main takeaway from this is that while Donald Trump is executing his right to vote, and while he's taking advantage of one of our greatest rights, he is undermining that very right at the same time. He is undermining the elections he's taking place in by tweeting about fraud, saying Democrats are cheaters, and I can almost guarantee he's going to declare victory tonight. Now, he seems so tired that I don't know if he has it in him, but I mean, this dude does not go down without kicking and screaming. Groups backing Donald Trump are ready to dispute votes in Democratic areas. Quote, the day is fast approaching when fence sitting will no longer be possible, read one post from an Ohio chapter of the Proud Boys, the far-right organization that was instrumental to the January 6th attack. The messages were all posted on Telegram, which is a lightly moderated social media platform. I'm pretty sure it's largely encrypted. You can send whatever you want and organize, and they don't care. But a New York Times analysis of more than 1 million messages across nearly 50 Telegram channels with 500,000 total members found a sprawling and interconnected movement intended to question the credibility of the presidential election, and this is all happening off the back of Donald Trump's election denial in 2020 and 2024, even though admittedly he has toned it down a slight bit in 2024 because I am sure it does not pull well with median voters to always be reminded of election denial. So he's only ramped it up over the past few weeks to months, if you've noticed. The Times reviewed messages from election integrity groups, quote, election integrity groups, across a dozen states, including battlegrounds like PA, Georgia, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Michigan. Their posts overwhelmingly spewed disinformation and conspiracy theories and featured violent imagery. More than 4,000 of their posts went further by encouraging members to act by attending local election meetings, joining protest rallies, and making financial donations. Now, that's fine. It's fine if you want to attend a local election meeting, but when you're showing up as a quote-unquote poll watcher in militia gear to try to intimidate voters in Democratic areas, that is not okay, and it comes off the back of Donald Trump refusing to answer questions like this.
Can you tell your supporters that there should be no violence and that they should accept?
I don't have to tell them that. I don't have to tell them that there'll be no violence. Of course there'll be no violence. My supporters are not violent people.
You do have to tell them that. You do have to tell them that because this dude, he is absolutely such a troll. He literally said 2 hours ago, it is now officially election day, the most important day in American history. He then said, blah, blah, blah. The radical communist Democrats want you to pack up and go home. 24 hours ago, I'll probably have to scroll far, but he was posting about election fraud, calling Democrats the biggest cheaters ever. Look how much this dude posts on Truth Social. He was saying Democrats are the biggest cheaters ever. He said yesterday, coming soon, the golden age of America. I'm glad that Donald Trump is as excited for the Kamala Harris presidency, just like we are. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, have a great day, and peace out.